Mount St. Helens looked like this before and after its 1980 eruption. Actress Charlotte Rampling on the set of Abduction, Sardinia, 1966. American servicemen are decorating a Christmas tree. This is in Vietnam during the 1960s. New York, around 1922. We've got Fanny Brice here. She's the singer, actress, and comedian, born Fania Borak. A boy plays a prank on a policeman by attaching a firework to his clothing. This happened in England in 1925. Christina Ricci and Jimmy Workman behind the scenes of The Addams Family, 1991. Eastern African slaves to Arabia. The picture was taken in the late 19th century. Frank Sinatra and Eleanor Roosevelt in 1947. A teacher from Little Rock, Arkansas, presents her class by television because classes were suspended to avoid integration in September of 1958. This is a publicity still of Ava Gardner from 1952. This is the Sweetheart toaster from the 1920s. Norwegian pole vault champion Charles Hoff is doing the Charleston, which was a popular dance from the 1920s. Tom Hanks on the set of Bachelor Party in 1984. Westminster Bridge, London, 1962. The Budapest Chain Bridge exploded and the Danube was frozen on January 15, 1945. Blanche Barrow, a member of Bonnie and Clyde's gang, was captured in 1933. Wanrong dressed in her full regal empress attire in 1922. She was the only empress in China's history to have a photo taken of her in regal dress. Jim Morrison from The Doors, with his iconic lion's mane haircut in 1967. Reggie Walker was 19 years old when he won the Olympic 100-meter gold medal at the 1908 London Games. This makes him the youngest winner of the Olympic men's 100-meter title, a record he still holds to this day. Czechs in London are demonstrating against Austria-Hungary and in support of creating Yugoslavia during a visit by Prince Alexander of Serbia in 1916. June 6th, 1944. These folks gathered in Times Square to watch the news ticker on the New York Times building on D-Day, World War II. Young Osama bin Laden training in judo. Jim Henson and Richard Hunt are with their Muppet characters, Kermit the Frog and Scooter, at the 58th Academy Awards in 1986. Audrey Hepburn is handing Julie Andrews her Best Actress Oscar for the film Mary Poppins. A United States Marine is smiling while reading his mail in a foxhole on Iwo Jima in 1945. The moment the dragon is slain in a puppet show in Paris, France, 1964. John and Julian Lennon visit the set of Happy Days in the mid-1970s. The waist gunner of a B-17 Flying Fortress aircraft is holding onto a mounted .50 caliber machine gun. This photograph was taken in the 1940s during World War II. King Victor Emmanuel III of Italy and his wife, Queen Elena, are outside their house in Alexandria, Egypt. They lived there in exile in 1947. George Harrison is with actress Hayley Mills in 1964. Charles Manson's initial booking photo after the Tate LaBianca murders, 1969. Punk Girl, Germany, Berlin, 1982. The punk movement emerged in the late 1960s and early 1970s in the UK, USA, Canada, and Australia. Norman Rockwell in the 1920s. There's a children's cafe inside a Tu-134 airplane. It was donated to the kids by the workers at an aircraft repair plant. This was in Minsk, in the Byelorussian Soviet Socialist Republic, back in 1983. There's a 17-year-old girl named Maria Ginesta in Barcelona during the Spanish Civil War, which was in 1937. Terry Garr, 1965. Two boys are being arrested for pickpocketing in New York during the early 20th century. German occupiers are destroying a monument to Polish poet and hero Adam Mickiewicz in Krakow, 1940. Two boys are running for their lives across infamous Sniper Alley while carrying their dog. Sarajevo, 1995. It was 1963. J.P. Morgan is going into a rage because somebody took a picture of his face, and his rhinophyma was visible in the 1900s. Men are trying the gin and tonic vending machine, 1960. August 24, 1997, a week before her death. Princess Diana. The golden bust of Marcus Aurelius was discovered in 1939. Miss National Catfish Queen, New York, 1945. In 1901, Theodore Roosevelt was sworn in as the 26th U.S. President. Soldiers are learning about the projection of motion pictures as part of occupational therapy. This is happening at Walter Reed General Hospital in Washington, D.C., United States, around 1914 to 1918. Young Dwight D. Eisenhower and his new wife Mamie, 1916. Skylab launched on May 14, 1973. Students at a New York barber school learned to shave by practicing on a hot air balloon on October 8, 1959. David Bowie with his date Ola Hudson, who is Slash's mother, in 1975. Jamie Lee Curtis in 1979 at the Photoplay Awards. Okay, so there's a picture of some unidentified high school students at a jukebox in Tallahassee, Florida. An Italian monk, dressed in funeral attire, around the late 19th or early 20th century. The Maharani of Nepal and her followers, 1885 to 1894. United States President Abraham Lincoln is there with his personal bodyguard and some others at the Battle of Antietam in 1862. Halle Berry, 1992. Ah, so it's the Backstreet Boys and the Spice Girls from 1996. A painter on the Eiffel Tower, 1953. Rabbits were used for pharmaceutical testing in a laboratory in the 1950s. A couple is shopping for a television at the Woodward and Lothrop department store. They're checking out the latest models on display in Washington, D.C. in 1958. Chloroform, morphine sulfate, cannabis extract, and syrup. Helena Bonham Carter in 1986. There's a girl on the beach holding a Japanese glass float. Inside a General Electric laboratory, 1937. Elizabeth Bowes Lyon, the future queen, poses next to a giant vase at Buckingham Palace in 1939. The Sears catalog used to be assembled by hand in the 1940s. Its mail-order business was revolutionary, but it relied on thousands of clerks, printers, and warehouse workers to keep it running. Ruth Oliphant, 18, is being interviewed and inspected for the job of car hop girl, delivering orders in fast food restaurants. This took place in Houston, Texas, on the 26th of February, 1940. Sandal Bergman in Conan the Barbarian, 1982. American children burned Beatles records to protest John Lennon describing the band as more popular than Jesus in 1966. Alain Delon and Romy Schneider backstage at the Théâtre de Paris in 1961. Stalin's son Yakov Djugashvili was captured by the Germans in 1941. There's an old school band. It's a band from the 1930s playing music. This is the last photo of Emperor Peter II of Brazil before he was exiled. It was taken on November 15, 1889. Magda Goebbels, wife of Reich Minister of Propaganda Joseph Goebbels, and her 6 children in 1942. A man with a beard made of bees in the 1960s. A Jewish girl is in Damascus, Syria, dressed in traditional garments. This was in 1865. Allison Hayes, 50s. The Theremin Electro Ensemble, later called the Electrio, circa 1932. New York fashion, 1930s. Anyone remember talking on the phone for hours with the kids you just saw at school all day while sporting an overgrown mullet? Don't forget mom's pie in the oven. 1980s. A Hasidic man is wearing a fur hat, a shtreimel, on the Sabbath. This was in Kazimierz, Krakow, sometime between 1935 and 1938. The portrait is of a clown from the Barnum and Bailey Circus. There's a fly resting on his nose. The year was 1949. A little boy doesn't look too thrilled after his baptism in the Mississippi River. This happened in St. Charles Parish, Louisiana. The photo was taken sometime during the 50s or 60s. A portable respirator, or iron lung, designed to help patients recover at home. 1955. The book is about a tattooed woman. It comes from Hans Prinzhorn's book, Prisoner's Art, published in 1926. The first electric cab in London, 1897. King George V and Queen Mary of Great Britain, August 1914. Chancellor of the German Empire, Otto von Bismarck, in 1871. Under his leadership, Germany became a modern, united nation. The Manhattan Bridge construction in 1909. John Travolta's taking his Great Dane for a walk around the city. He's with his agent. This is in New York in the 1970s. Okay, so this is about hand engraving music in London during the 1960s. A first-year student at Pomona College was subjected to the weigh-in. It was a practice where the football team forcibly measured the proportions of incoming female students. This happened in California, United States in 1954. A demonstration of the first home dishwasher, 1921. This is a color version of one of the many photographic portraits of Adolf Hitler. Coast Guard on horseback patrolling the coast during World War II. Donald Trump is pictured with Miss Teen USA contestants around 1997. A man celebrating the end of a drought in 1951, Texas. A 15-cent photo booth is in the lobby at the United Nations Service Center at Washington, D.C. Esther Bublé took the photo in December of 1943. Queen Victoria and her favorite collie named Sharp. During her 64-year reign, she popularized dogs as indoor family pets in the 1860s. British soldiers are seen during the handover ceremony of Dublin Castle from the British Empire to the Irish Free State, officially establishing the Irish state in 1922. So, this is about loading a jeep onto an airplane. The aircraft has a ramp that extends down to the ground. People are guiding the jeep up the ramp. There are 2 people near the vehicle, and several more are standing around. Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise at a red carpet event in the 1990s. Keith Richards and Patty Hansen's wedding, Baja, Mexico, 1983. The Daughters of Tsar Nicholas II, from the 1900s to the 1910s. Actor Klaus Kinski is holding a machete to director Werner Herzog's throat while they're filming Cobra Verde. Their relationship was complicated. This happened in 1987. Experimental Gas 21, 1930s. Ronald Reagan is posing with oddly casual clothing while working at his ranch in 1984. Kim Jong-il with his family, Pyongyang, North Korea, 1981. There were workers using key punch machines at the Social Security office in Baltimore, Maryland, USA, in 1965. A dental assistant is playing a gramophone to distract a patient from pain in 1922. The Brooklyn Bridge was under construction in 1880. Liverpool Blitz in 1941. 2 little sisters courageously saved their teddy bear from rubble in a doll's pram. In 1948, a picture of a naked woman shocked and entertained people in Paris. Lens, France, April 11th, 1919. There's a man and a wife, and they're living in the cellar of their old house, which is completely ruined. Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt, the 90s. Danica McKellar and Macaulay Culkin at the 1991 Emmys. There was a protest by WOWS in Berkeley against the new fashion. They were upset that the new styles had longer skirts and padded hips. The protesters felt it was an attempt to return to the more conservative trends from before the war. This protest happened on the 27th of August, 1947. Fred Marriott, an American racer, is with the Stanley Rocket in Ormond Beach, Florida, in 1906. Hami, a Muslim woman from Xinjiang, China, in 1875. She's wearing her traditional clothes. A mother gives her son one last kiss before he leaves to become a Soviet partisan.